Hey, good morning. It's a Sunday morning here in Washington, D.C. And I'm answering some questions for you guys while I'm going off to Georgetown for a food tour. Sounds good, doesn't it? So one of the questions I got asked was, how can I become an investor? Well, that's a big old question, isn't it? So let's just step back and break it down. The first thing I think people think is, I need permission. Oh, look, sorry, got distracted by houses. I need permission to become an investor. And actually you don't. What you need to do is just basically figure out, oh, we're going to get windy. Figure out what you want in your life and then work backwards. So I always like to work with a plan. I always think it's just really sensible to work with a plan. Your plan is, well, this is what's important to me. You know, for me, one of the many things that's important to me is travel. I'm here in Washington, D.C. in America right now, as you can tell. There you go. For me, it's also important that I spend time with my loved ones, my friends and family. For me personally, everyone's different. It's really important that my personal house is paid off the mortgage. I've also got another house that I live in Barcelona, and that's paid off the mortgages. And for me, it's really important that I've got a good income coming in and I've got a low loan to value. Those are just some of the things that are kind of, although they're financially important, they're emotionally important. So the first thing I want you to write down is, well, what's important to me? What kind of a life do I want? Why am I looking to do property? I'm sorry, we're going to have to get distracted by these very cute houses. Why am I wanting to do property? And what do I want to achieve through property? Because once you know that, you know what you can do? You can then actually sit down and figure out, okay, what's my route? So for me, time is really important. An awful lot of people say it's kind of time freedom. So that meant that I can't always be flipping. I can't be trading the whole time, because although trading makes a huge amount of money and I've done a shed load of flips, it's not all, you know, the minute you stop work, you stop the money coming in. So for me, flipping was a way of bringing cash in the short term to own a property portfolio in the long term. Again, if time is super important to you, you might want to think, what kind of properties are you going to own? For me, I started out with professional HMOs. They're very labor intensive, time intensive. And then I moved to single lets and student lets, which are basically massive HMOs. Well, not massive. I always do 5-bedroom, 4-bedroom HMOs with en suites, but everybody moves in and out at the same time. So effectively, it's like a single let with parental guarantors. So start with your strategy, and then from your strategy, that allows you to say, well, this kind of property is going to deliver that for me, for my strategy. So start with the end in mind, as the wonderful Stephen Covey said, that book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Another cute property alert, and more cute property alert there. The next thing to do is then figure out smarts. You know this thing: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and time bound. So when do I want to achieve that revenue by? When do I want to own those assets by? How am I going to measure it? Okay. Don't at this stage worry the fact that you haven't got any money, you don't have any skills. We all start out that way. The next thing to do is to then go, well, how am I going to get there? And of course, that's the head puzzle. Now, I'm not going to just explain it in today's video. I've got loads of videos for you on my YouTube channel, but how am I going to get to where I want to get to? Well, clearly you're going to have to acquire property. Clearly you're going to have to buy it discounted. So buy, refurb, refinance and rent out. BRRR as it's known. Clearly you're going to have to bring in some cash generating activities to buy some of those properties, because the chances of you having all the money you need is kind of zero, unless you're a multimillionaire, in which case I salute you. So you're going to have to either do a flipping strategy or a deal packaging strategy, and clearly you're going to have to put some work towards it. Okay, there's other videos explaining precisely what all of that means. The next stage is to say, well, how am I going to make sure I do this? Well, get some education. My website is a great place for you to get some education. I'm going to stay behind the wind here, guys. We're just going to finish this video chatting here. Is that a nice house? Well, it's nice trees, isn't it? I want you to get some education. Go to my website, thegoodpropertycompany.co.uk. I have spent a long time putting together fantastic education for you so that you can learn how to flip, learn how to source discounted deals, learn how to find investors, learn how to deal package, and it's all there. You can immediately download everything. Then write your, what you might term KPIs, or just monthly plan. You know, if I'm going to do this in 5 years, and then I break it down to what I need to do in the first year, and then how do I measure on a month-by-month basis whether I'm getting there or not. So one of the things you probably need to do is understand the metrics. Excuse me, my fingers. Amaterasis, amateur. I'm out in Washington. So you're going to need to understand the metrics. So for example, and this isn't the place for it, I'm giving you the overview here. So for example, buying discounted deals. Clearly something you're going to have to do, whether you're going to flip, whether you're going to buy, refurbish, refinance, rent out, or whether you're going to deal package for cash, okay? So there the metrics are 100 phone calls, 25 viewings, 21 offers will give you one deal. Simple metrics. If you want to buy it from auction, the metrics are 1 in 4 properties you try and bid on pre, during and post will give you an auction property. If you want to find investors, 1 in 10 people has money, 1 in 2 will say no to you, 1 in 2 of those people will say yes to you if you move them to 5 to 9 touch points. So do you see, you understand the metrics? And then you write down, okay, this is my 5-year plan, this is my 1-year plan, headed up by my kind of emotional, this is what I want to do in my life. Yeah, we got beats going on down here with this guy. And then what I want you to do, I'm just trying to find good light for you, is to then say, well, how do I break that up into a monthly basis? So how many properties do I want to buy in the first year? Okay, well, how many viewings I'm going to have to do? How many phone calls am I going to have to do? And then how do I divide that up into months? So what I'm trying to do here is basically make it very simple for you. And then the final thing I definitely say is get a buddy. My friend Arthur and I, we meet every single month. At the moment, we're meeting every 2 weeks to check each other's metrics. My friend Rachel and I, we meet at least once a year to check each other's strategies. So you need to be held accountable by somebody else who's going to kick your butt, as my friends do to me regularly. And another way of being accountable is obviously mentoring or education programs or peers, people who are going through the same thing as you. So there you go. Oh, and the final thing I said is don't worry about not having any money, because you can either earn money through flipping or earn money through deal packaging, or you can borrow money through private investors. All of us who start off do pretty much a mix of all of those things, okay? The one thing I must ask you not to do is rent to rent, because that is a blind alley. It wastes your time, and the thing is, property in the early days is going to be quite time consuming, so you don't want to be like doing rent to rent where the landlord gets the capital growth and you're just arguing about light bulbs with tenants. So preserve your time. So there you are. If we can remember them, we are talking identify what you want in your life first. Then we're talking identify the kind of properties that are going to give you what you want in your life. So for me, it was financial freedom, time, income, security, and travel. So I moved from professional HMOs, which I started out, to student HMOs and single lets. Then identify the metrics that you need to do to, so identify your goal, identify your properties that will deliver you that goal. Don't worry about not having any money or no skills at the moment. Don't worry about it. Then identify the metrics. So if this is my goal in 5 years, what's my goal in 1 year? And then what do I do every 30 days? Then get educated, then find a property buddy, and then think about working with private investors. Consistency, step by step, okay? So I hope I've broken it down for you to think, okay, she hasn't told me the detail, but guys, I've got plenty of other YouTube videos for you on that. What I have shown you is the overview and how simple it can be. I'm off to Georgetown now to go and do a gourmet tour. I've been noodling around Washington for the last 3 days. I've had a thoroughly brilliant time. Off to Philadelphia tomorrow. So remember, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, obviously, because we're going to get lots more videos for you guys. But also, one of the brilliant ways for you to get educated is my website, thegoodpropertycompany.co.uk. I have spent a long time putting together some fantastic programs for you. So if you want to learn how to flip, how to find discounted deals, how to work with investors, how to get started, how to deal package, downloadable packs, webinars on demand, 60-day academies, and occasionally some bundles. So that's thegoodpropertycompany.co.uk. Most importantly, you can do it, and you know that. A key question is, how do I get started in property? Write yourself a plan. I have written you guys a pack, how to write a business plan and deliver business success in property. You can download it now.